What's going on, guys? Stock Sniper Mike here, and I'm here to go over the OTC stocks to watch on the week. As a sniper, we always say one of the most important things is being prepared, and part of being prepared is creating watch lists. With the Stock Snipers, we create 2 watch lists every single day. A watch list in the morning, the AM watch list, and then the Sniper Scope, the 3 p.m. watch list created every single trading day. The other watch list that is created on the website is one of the most important ones, and the one we're going to go over today, the weekly watchers. If you are not a part of the team, one way to join us is on the app or Google Play under the Stock Snipers. So let's dive into the app and let's check out this weekly watchers. So when you press into the screen here, the weekly watchers are going to pop up every single Monday morning at the top of the Stock Sniper app. It's also going to be in the watch list tab at the top of your profile. And when you click on it, you'll get a brief description of all the stocks that we believe have the potential to make us money for the week, as well as the sniper pattern right next to it. Now this week is a special one because it feels like we have some sector momentum coming from one of the sectors, and that is the cannabis sector. And it's starting to look like that sector is coming back to life. The green rush might start back up. And that's why we added a nice little cannabis stock sector watch list on this weekly watchers. And it all starts with a former running OTC penny stock, INND. This is a penny stock that just ran very nicely, but now coming all the way back down for about a week and a half, creating 6 straight red days. So the support and resistance spots are spots you want to pay attention to when I'm going over these stocks. And then with INND, the support is 125 and that resistance spot is 15. As long as the stock continues to hold 125 this week, we will be looking for that day that it crosses above 15. And if it has good volume, we most likely will be putting it on the Sniper Scope and be a part of the action. The next one is one that we actually had on the weekly watcher last week, but it still has not made a move. This is ENZC that just came all the way down from 20 cents in October and now back to that long-term support of 12. It has been hovering above that key support spot of 12, and as long as it holds on to that, we are going to be looking for that first green day to pop up, hopefully past 135 and then past that 14 key resistance spot, where we will most likely be a part of it on that day. The next one is a sniper favorite, one we have played before in the past, and we love the concept behind it. These OTC stocks do crazy things and they all have crazy ideas, and this one right here, OTC penny stock shrimp, SHMP, is actually, the name is called Natural Shrimp. They actually are farming shrimp in Texas, now in Florida, all over in different states, but they are farming natural shrimp in fresh water inside barns so people can have fresh shrimp and not contaminated shrimp from the ocean. This is an interesting stock that recently got a very nice spike, so we know about the spikeability here. We are just waiting for the day that it gets another spike. We are looking for it to continue to hold 40 cents, and then when that first green day comes, maybe with news, always a bonus, we are most likely going to be back a part of shrimp. This next one is a fan favorite as well. This one tracks back to 2020 when they used to call it the super stock. The OTC super stock CYDY spiked all the way from pennies to $10 and now coming down to that 1-year low of 108. We want to see it continue to hold here, and it's been hanging out around this 110 area for a couple weeks now. If it's able to hold this for a little bit longer, we think the first green day is coming any day now. And usually when this stock has news, it creates first green day, so we will also be watching out for that. The next one is one we recently just made a bag off of, NWBO, Nubo. This stock is coming back down to its long-term support of $1, and we already know that $1 spot is a key spot in a penny stock world. So as long as it holds that $1, we'll be looking for the day it gets more than average volume and pushes back up towards that 120 resistance spot that it has created this past 2 weeks. So as long as we see that first green day and more than average volume with nice support, we will most likely be looking to take Nubo overnight this next week. And the next one is a different sector. This is an OTC EV related stock. So we're going to like Tesla and the batteries. We have a full range of EV related OTC stocks, and ALYI is one of them, and it looks like it's due anytime now. As you can see with the chart, it's got a huge spike in past history, and we think that spike is probably going to happen again anytime now. We're just waiting for that first green day to create and push AOI back up to that 0.02 area. The next one is another former spiker. We always like to look at the past history of OTC stocks to make sure that they have spiked in the past. And as you can see with RGBP, it does this over and over and over again. So after 4 straight red days last week, we think the green day is eventually going to pop any day now. We would like to see it hold 2.5 because that was the spot that it was able to really get a nice spike after it broke past that. So if it holds 2.5, we're going to be looking for that first green day to create here in RGBP, and we think it might be able to get a push past 0.03 when that day comes. These next two are a slower moving, higher price OTC stock, but still they have opportunity to make us money, so we got to put them on the list. And this is a sniper 52-week breakout pattern. Very slow moving stock, so you should be able to tell when it's going to break out, and you do want to have more than average volume in this one because this is a lighter volume play. But GLATF has been hovering up by 52-week highs for way too long now, and it looks like it's about time for that nice green day to shoot it up above 394 52-week highs. So we'll be patiently waiting for that day next week, and if it has nice volume, we're most likely gonna be in. But volume is key, guys, and if volume is not there, even if these patterns work out, we're not going to be a part of them. So that's why we always like to state more than average volume when getting into these plays. The next higher price, slower moving stock is one that's just been going up for 6 straight days now. All last week it's had green day, gap up, green day, gap up. So any day now it should be able to plummet or create a panic. So we want to be a part of either the first red day short or the panic play. We're going to be watching next week for both of those. It did just break out of 52-week highs on Friday, so we're not going to be quick to short this thing, but we will be looking for the panic down to $2, maybe below that spot. When panic playing, we always are looking at level 2s, and that is key to watching the momentum change. And now, the more important part of the week, a hot sector. And when playing a sniper pattern with a hot sector, these plays tend to work out more than often, and you tend to get more profit off of them. So when we get a hot sector, we like to highlight that. And we have a good feeling about this cannabis sector, especially the way it closed on Friday. And usually when the big listed cannabis stocks like Tilray, TLRY, and Canopy Growth, CGC, are able to get spikes, the rest of these OTC stocks follow along with them. And that's what's happening here. This last week, we were able to make over $1,500 on cannabis stocks, and we are actually taking 3 more over the weekend because how great we feel about this sector. So in the weekly watchers, we're going to highlight the cannabis stocks that we believe could make us money this next week if the cannabis sector continues to heat up. So let's start with the one that we're actually in overnight, and that's INQD. This is a penny stock that's been stuck in the mud for a while now, but we like the way it closed on Friday, getting above 135, a little area that it hasn't been able to get out in 2 weeks now. So we're going to be looking for a push above 135, past 145. If the cannabis sector is able to get the volume and the push that it had this past week, we think INQD can get a nice run, but the volume will be key, and this is a lighter volume play, so we will need volume to continue being interested in this one. The next one is another play that we took over the weekend, and this is probably one of our favorite stocks ever because it's the first ever stock that we played. The first ever cannabis stock that the Stock Sniper played. That's OTC penny stock MJNA. And this is a classic multi-month Stock Sniper pattern that we love to play, especially when the sector starts to heat up. So with MJNA, if you can see, it was having multiple green days leading up to the day that we played it. But we were watching this stock on that first green day, and we put it on the sniper scope, but it really never got the volume until Friday. It was able to come up to that 3-cent multi-month high, and we're going to be looking for it to push past that spot next week and possibly get all the way back to that 4-cent multi-month resistance area. The next one is another one we've been following since all the way back in 2016, just like MJNA. This is hemp. I believe both of those, MJNA and hemp, HEMP, are the 2 best tickers you can have in the cannabis sector. And usually when the cannabis stocks heat up, these two stocks, just because of their ticker, tend to get momentum. So if MJNA started to get that spark that it did last week, so we'll be watching it to get back to that 0.004 multi-month high spot. And if it's able to get a spike around there, we'll be interested in taking that one overnight that day. The next one is one we are very familiar with because it's our biggest bag of the year. Back in August, when it had that gap up, we were actually able to make over $3,000 on this cannabis dispensary play. But sadly enough, this one is not like the other dispensaries that we love, like the higher price ones like True Leaf, Curl Leaf, GTBIF, Green Thumb, Cresco Labs. This is not like those dispensaries. It is a dispensary, but we don't believe in it as much, and you can see with the stock price as this came all the way down to 20 cents area when all these other dispensaries are up in the multi-dollar spot. But we do know that Men can spike, especially if you look back almost a year ago, back in February, when it spiked from 20 cents all the way up to $1.40 area. So you know the spikeability is there, and we're going to be waiting for that to happen. And if it does, we will be a part of it. As long as it holds 24-cent daily support and it's able to push back above 30 cents, that's when we'll be interested, and we believe this thing could run. The next one is one that we've played plenty of times in the past. We call it an old reliable because it's a slower moving stock, and that is Charlotte's Web, CWBHF. This one tends to come back to life when Tilray or CGC starts to move. And if you look at the charts with CGC, Tilray, and Charlotte's Web, they kind of look familiar, along with all the cannabis stocks. But those three do look very similar when moving along with each other. So if the Tilray and CGC starts to move, look for Charlotte's Web to continue to hold that $2 spot and then finally push back above $2.25 that it hasn't really been able to push past this past month. But we believe if it gets past that, with the cannabis sector heating up, this thing could change momentum and start to head back up towards the $4 area. This next cannabis one is one we love because it's a penny stock play. It's actually a dispensary out in Chicago, but we do like the price action. We have played this in the past, and we love the fact that it's a penny stock hovering around that dollar area. It has been uptrending the past 2 weeks, so we do love the sign of it showing some strength, but no real good volume days, and then it kind of settled in between 92 cents and 85. So this next week we're going to be looking for the day it can get above 92 cents and maybe push to that dollar spot. And if it has more than average volume on that day, we will be a part of that because MRMD is one of our cannabis favorites. This next play here is another one, another cannabis play that we've been watching since 2016. It used to be a couple dollars. Now it's coming all the way back into the cents, down to 20-cent area. CVSI. It's been getting ugly over in the CVSI camp, but as long as it's able to hold 20 cent, we believe the turnaround should be any day now with this cannabis play, especially with the cannabis sector heating up here. So keep an eye out for CVSI to continue to hold 24 and then push past above 25. This next one is another stock we've been watching all the way back in 2016, TGODF. Great name, TGODF. They have been trading in a tight range from 12.5 and 15 cents for a while now. We're just waiting for that day, the first green days, able to push it above 15 cents, and usually that happens with sector momentum. So if that does happen this next week, we'll be interested in possibly taking it overnight and tagging that bag. One we've played plenty of times in the past, another one we've been following for plenty of years now, A-Leaf. And this one has actually been downtrending as other cannabis stocks and the rest of the sector has settled and now started uptrending the past week. So it's nice to see we got a downtrending one still, making 2 red days to close the week last week. We're going to be looking for that first green day to start up in A-Leaf, and if it does happen as the sector is getting momentum, it's going to be the double whammy there. So we'll be patient. We're not going to be one to grab and try to catch a falling knife. There's no need to try to guess the bottom. We're just going to react for when the first green day happens. The next one is probably my third favorite ticker name, and that's Buds, B-U-D-Z. The fourth one is Nugs, N-U-G-S. That's another one, but we actually don't have it on this weekly watcher. But quick little fact. But the third one here, Buds, great ticker, another one that seems to really run. And with Buds, it looked like it was going to do that a couple weeks ago when it squeezed from 30 cents to 45, but then it has settled a bit and the volume never really came in to give it another push. holding the 34-cent area. As long as it continues to hold 34 cents, we're going to be looking for that first green day to possibly take it overnight and look for that short squeeze push that it just had 2 weeks ago. Alright guys, there is our weekly watchers. I hope you guys enjoyed it. I hope you are able to profit at least off of one of those stocks that we just went over. Catch the weekly watcher list right when it comes out on Sunday night. Make sure to join the team on the App Store right here under the Stock Snipers, or check us out on our website at www.thestocksnipers.com. We got a great team, a full chat room. So I'll see you guys back here next week going over some more OTC stocks. Let's go tag some bags. Stock Sniper Mike, out.